Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of In the Booth, where we interview voice actors and actresses of machinimas, fan dubs, abridged series, and anime online web series. I'm your host, JD Carr, and today our guest is Patrick, or Nomad. So, thank you, Patrick, for joining me for this interview.
Hey, thank you again for having me.
Alright, so first things first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as far as me goes, I am 24. Actually, just turned 24 this
Oh,
past August 18th.
hey,
So,
congrats.
thank you. There's that, and yeah, I guess that's all really say about me. I have a high school degree. I attended some 3 years of community college. I found out like schooling really wasn't for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I would spend a lot of time like modding games like Skyrim and stuff, and there was one mod in particular. I think it was like that Inigo mod. It was a Khajiit follower. All I
Oh,
remember is he was blue and he had a buttload of lines, and I was like, "Huh,
I'll do this
I
guy.
really want to
Okay.
do something like that." Because when I was right out of college, I met my best friend in an acting class, and we trounced that acting class. We met a great teacher, had a great group of people, and it was really cool. But as with every like starving artist or actor, like acting is something that's very hard to just break out
Yeah.
into. So I did like one or two little projects, but I kept coming back to like the Nexus forums, where the place I got all my Skyrim mods. And I finally found a post, like just a forum post where it was voice actors needed. And I started there, I think maybe about 4 years ago now, back in like 2013, November or like October of 2013. I made my profile. I made it all like souped up, highlighted words, a bunch of different color signatures at the bottom. Be like, this is my YouTube, this is my SoundCloud, go here. And I did a bunch of really crappy samples. I think I had like this AT 2020 I had invested in. It was like $120 at the time.
Oh, well.
Needed a good quality mic, even though I wasn't into voice acting yet.
You
I
still
threw
need a
up a
good
whole
quality
bunch
mic,
of
yeah.
crappy SoundCloud recordings,
Uh-huh.
and I think it took about 8 months, and I got offered to do the Forgotten City. And
Neat.
up until then, I did like one or two lines for maybe like a Fallout New Vegas thing that I don't even remember. But the Forgotten City was like the first real project that somebody hit me up for, and his name was Nick James Pierce, and he said, "Hey, I have this project. I would love it if you tried out for these couple roles. I have like a lot of male roles. I think there's like 30 people in an underground city."
Oh,
And
wow.
he wanted me to initially try out for three of them, and
Okay.
I just like went full bar and I tried out for eight, and I didn't hear back from him for a really long time, for probably about like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But I got an email one day while I was on a roof, and I found out I was cast for six of the eight parts, and he complimented me and was like impressed about my range. And I'd say like probably 3 years ago, with the 3 or 4 years ago, with the Forgotten City, is like how I started into this whole thing. And ever since then, it's just been like people private messaging me on Discord or YouTube or email saying like, "Hey, I really like your voice. Could you do this?" Or, "I like this sample specifically. We're looking for something like this for this guy." So,
Alright. Nice. Okay, so let me see. Oh, from then till now, what has been your favorite role or roles or projects that you ever voiced in?
hmm. Well, like I said in that whole long-winded first answer, I I started off doing a lot of Skyrim mods, and then it kind of leaked into like Fallout. I think Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and then Fallout 4 came out, and I did that. As far as favorites go, like I don't know if anyone who's actually, if any of you who are watching this video recognize me. Hey, good on you. Thank you for that. I appreciate
Yes.
that. But not only that, it's kind of tough. I don't want to like give too much credit to one person or the other. As far as what role I really personally liked, I gotta give it to the Forgotten City. There was one character I voiced. It was a dark elf named Ulrin. He's probably about like 45 years old.
Mm.
His whole shtick, without spoiling anything, is his whole shtick is his wife goes missing, and it's a very, I don't know. It was just something about like I personally love dark elves, like from the lore of that game. If there's any lore for me to even like at this point, I'm a Morrowind fan. I love dark elves, fanboy here. So when I got to voice one and I found out like his backstory, when you come to find out the tragicness that is that character, and like what he has to go through. The way Nick wrote his lines, they were so simple and so perfect to bring like the point out or the emotion out that he wanted at certain points. It was very like the character only had maybe 50 or 60 lines, but
It
they were
felt
the
so
most
raw.
impactful. It was really a lot of fun, especially because that's a quest line. That's a quest with like multiple endings. And
Oh,
that character, out of like 20 some odd characters, also had multiple endings. And they were all just very, it was a very fun character. So, out of all my favorite roles, that was a tough one to pick, but the Forgotten City, Ulrin, definitely probably my personal favorite. Close second. Got to give a quick shout out to Old World Radio. I loved voicing Jackie O. That's
oh
just
yes.
fun. That
That
gave
I
me,
think I think
yeah,
that
that
song.
just gave me a lot of.
That's how I heard your voice for the first time. It's like, huh, this guy's a very nice voice.
I know it's I forget exactly how that went about, but Yo was a ghoul, and I had never done that. And I heard like Fallout 4 had did some crap with ghoul voices, and I was like, okay, let me try this. So they said they were looking for like this dude who lives in a sewer, and we want him to sound like the Fallout 3 ghoul. And I was like, okay, let me just do this real quick and see if they'll let me try out. That would be really fun. Like it ended up I got hit up like 6 months later to do what is it Christmas stuff,
Mm,
and I heard they're still working on keeping the mod going. And I know the difficulty with that now is a lot of voice actors are involved, and it's kind of hard to manage. But
yeah.
hey, OWR, if you're ever doing stuff, Jackie O. But yeah,
Neat. All right. Oh, here's a fun question for you. So, any funny stories or mishaps that happened when you're recording lines, or any like funny bloopers that you had of yourself when recording lines?
oh God, yeah, all the time, every time. If it's not me doing something, it will be. I have a very awesome roommate that I live with. He's very conscious of the fact that we're voice actors. So when I tell him like, "Hey, I'm going to do a recording," he's real nice, and he keeps very very quiet, and I really appreciate that. But there are the occasional times where if it's not me performing a line or something, and it's not him because he's being like perfectly quiet, it's a car. I live
Ah,
probably like where I'm sitting, I'm probably maybe like a good 100, 120 feet from the road through the house and everything, the rooms. But
it's either a
if a,
car.
if a
It's a
truck goes by,
no,
because
no,
it's a
no.
truck,
It's either a
okay.
car, it's a train, or a goddamn airplane that's just flying overhead,
Oh my God, it's something making just enough noise that it's
or
like
the
enough of a
damn
bassy
garbage truck.
tone. Yep. It's always the trucks with the Jake brakes, and they always go,
Beep,
and you can
beep,
hear it in the
beep,
background.
beep.
But I have had also, um, I've had like me reading lines just kind of go really, really bad. Like you get very, you can kind of hear it now. But I have some water with me.
Mhm.
If you're recording, you always keep like a bottle of water, something near you,
Oh, for sure,
because your
yeah.
throat is gonna get dry, and you're gonna get that crappy like lip smacky sound. And if it's not that, your voice is gonna crack. You're gonna eventually read your lines very heroically and then go like this. That'll just happen. But if it sounds funny enough, actually, sometimes I'll leave it in the final recording, and I'll just keep going, because that stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. You can't laugh at yourself. Who can you laugh at?
Neat. Okay. Oh, here's another fun question for you. So, you play a lot of video games, maybe watch some cartoons or TV shows and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Animated stuff. So, who are your favorite voice actors and or actresses? I'll let you have fun with that. Go.
Ooh, these
You,
questions.
you can list
Whenever
as many
someone
as you
asks me
want.
what's my favorite,
List as many as you want. Go ahead.
all right, let's go right off the bat. I really like Chris Sabat. Chris Sabat
Yes.
is the voice of many, many people, but I think we all know him as Vegeta.
Yeah.
Huge inspiration to me. Probably like he's in my top five, definitely inspiration wise. Sean Schimmel.
Mhm.
Um, I can't hit that range. This is me from an like admiring perspective. Sean Schimmel's the voice of Goku. Love that. I thought his American voice was like perfect for that character. He also voices Gaston in Berserk.
Mhm.
I believe the '90s series Berserk. If you haven't seen that,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
The movies. Oh, and
Um,
what's his face from Fallout 4? He was the super mutant.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that Sean Schimmel actually voiced a freaking mutant in Fallout 4. I had heard something about that. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of forgot about that. But moving on. Those are just Dragon Ball Z guys. I
Yeah.
also really like Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
That's like probably a lot of people's favorite, but Bleach and just the range of his characters, very impressive. I
Mhm.
watched his like acting demo, super long, and some of them I couldn't even tell they were him. It's awesome. Obviously, Steve Bloom,
Oh yeah, of course.
Cowboy Bebop, that like did it in for me.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop was a perfect character, but even better than Spike Spiegel was Mugen from
Oh
Samurai Champloo, and
yes.
that was my favorite like Steve Bloom character of all.
Yes.
I have to look his name up because I do not want to do this voice actor any disjustice. So let me see. Um, let me see. What is his name? What is
Give me a hint. Like, what was his role?
it? Was Roy? Oh, Travis Willingham.
Oh
Roy
yes.
Mustang, Full Metal Alchemist. For a very long time I thought that was Chris Sabat, and I looked it up probably like a year or two ago, and was surprised to find like a Watch Mojo video that said it was Travis Willingham, and I was like, wait.
Travis.
And it's like all of these people I could go on and on and on. I know I'm saying a lot of voice actors,
Oh no, that's fine.
voice actresses.
Yes.
What's recently really impressed me, Kira Buckland, Nier Automata.
Yes.
And not to give uh, just the spotlight to people who've been in huge games. We also have someone that I worked with. We've got a couple people that I've like worked with and known personally. I believe you've also worked with a couple of these people.
Yeah.
But in my machinima, I was in a really, really, really tight spot, and I needed a voice for a female lead. And I probably looked for like 2 weeks. I
Mhm.
had casting call clubs open. I was emailing friends, Facebooking friends, and I eventually found Melissa Sternenberg, who has
Oh.
a fantastic voice. And I found out she actually is she knows Kira Buckland, who voices the main character from the Drakengard games, and and Nier Automata. And
Small world.
yeah, mind blown. So just quick shout out to Melissa Sternberg again. Thank you for doing that. And yeah, dude, this list could go on and on and on and on for me. But as far as inspirations, Sabat, Sean Schimmel, Travis Willingham, I got to give in some small part credit to also, I'm going to say it, Troy Baker.
Yes.
Say what you will, but Troy Baker is for me also. I can look up. He's kind of a dick. Whatever. You can say whatever you want about him. Guy's got more money than me. Guy's better
Mhm.
looking than me. The guy also has more charm, a band, and he's broken out into the industry I want to be in more successfully. For that, I am envious. And honestly, if I can learn from him, he to me represents a segue into that industry for people like me. I'm not trying to put myself on his level in any respect, but for me to look at Troy Baker and see him do the Joker, from Batman Arkham Origins, a voice I
Oh yeah.
never would have ever attempted had he not ever shown me that someone else can do it besides Mark Hamill. It's not perfect, okay, but
Mhm.
I'm even willing to admit as like a Batman fan that it's pretty good.
I
And
think
as
like
far
his
as
Joker from Arkham Origins and also
Arkham Origins,
Assault on Arkham. I loved his Joker.
right, Assault on Arkham, I actually thought was Mark Hamill. I even told my brother that was Mark Hamill, and then I watched the credits and I was like, "Ooh, I am so wrong. I need to go apologize." But yeah, no. Also, his performance as Ocelot.
Oh yes.
I was pretty impressed when I heard that Southern drawl and you're pretty good and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, who voices him? And it's freaking Troy Baker. And I was like, Ocelot's played, mocapped, and voiced by Troy Baker.
Yep.
Damn, that's pretty good. But
So like him
yeah,
and
that's
Nolan
my
North, or
that's my
like him and Nolan North are
long-winded
like
answer.
the top tier for like
Oh
voice actors
yeah.
and mocap guys.
What's that thing he said on stage a few years back? He's like, step one, get yourself a real good mic,
Oh yeah,
a
step
real
one,
good
get
agent.
real, and step
Two,
two, oh no, step one,
wait for
get real good
me.
mic and practice. Step two, wait for me
Yeah,
and Nolan North to die. and then you can take our then you can take our jobs.
Like, okay, okay. I mean, I'll keep trying from where I'm at. I enjoy doing this that much.
I find that very hilarious. Step
Hmm.
1, get a mic, practice. Step 2, wait for me and Troy Baker to die.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. Guys are getting a lot of work,
Oh
but
yeah.
kudos to them. Like I said, they represent, especially Troy Baker. They represent what I would not necessarily like to become, but what I would like to aspire to position wise. I would like to get that kind of consistent, awesome, fun work, like a deep, awesome project like Metal Gear Solid 5. That'd be so
Neat. I think like mocap is starting to become like the norm nowadays for like video games. Like it's not gonna get there yet, but like eventually it will become the norm for video game voice acting because now you're gonna be able to move around and stuff.
cool. And I will admit, voice acting does sometimes. You'll use your hands, you use your upper body a lot. You
Oh
try
yeah,
not to like move with your feet because if you stamp, that'll make a big noise. But
yeah.
you definitely do act. If you've ever seen like Sean Schimmel, especially in the booth, any of the guys that do Dragon Ball Z, there's a lot of like acting involved.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their hands up by their heads, like their fists are up by their heads, their elbows are down by their belts, and they're all just
Like power yelling. It's like ah.
if you haven't seen I Will Not Let You Destroy My World, you should look that up
Oh yes.
because that alone is very that's the behind the scenes recording of him recording it. His face is the same color as his shirt.
Oh yeah.
I think he's wearing an orange or a red shirt.
And I've heard
Feel
stories
so
of like
bad for him.
multiple DBZ voice actors they actually passed out in the booth because
Oh yeah, not surprising.
yeah, not surprised about that. But like it's like I think it was him. So Sean Schemmel. I don't know if it happened to Chris Sabat, but oh, and what's his name? Trunks.
I don't know if
Eric
it's ever.
Vale. It happened to him.
Yeah, it's happened to Trunks. I think twice so far,
Yeah.
and one of them was a movie recording.
Oh good. But yeah, moving on from that. So this question.
Hmm.
So like, do you have any? I guess if you want to say it. Oh no, but then again, you might be not able to say about it. I'll just ask anyway. So like, any projects that you have that you might be able to say that you're working on, or no, you can't because you're still under like some clause. Like, nope, you can't say what you're working on.
It's not that I'm under any sort of clause. It's just one, I am a very lazy person. So I don't want to make any claims that things are coming out
Okay.
may or may not be in works. But two, a lot of the things that there are things I am currently involved in. I will say that there's a few things that are not my own that supposedly I'm lending my voice to. A few of them are a bit long, like long-winded projects. They're long-term, not long-winded. That was a bit rude. Um, yeah, a lot of them are longer-term projects. I've been on some of these teams for a few months now, but I've also tried out for a couple more. I won't really say anything out of really respect to the creators. I've been told to not really share or release certain things, but I will say this: there is one very large thing that I'm involved in that will be coming out sometime in the next 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
And I know that seems like a long time frame, but I've been on most of these mod teams for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So just so
That's
you know, it's
understandable.
coming.
Speaking of,
Something's coming. Something big.
so we're gonna diverge off of voice acting a bit. I know this is a voice acting podcast, but like you say, you worked on mods, right?
Hmm.
Have you ever considered? Have you heard this game called Mountain Blade Warband? Because there's so many mods for that game. Because there's this new
Yes, I
one.
have heard of Mountain Blade Warband, but I've never
Played it.
gotten into the modding community for it.
Yeah, because like there's so much mods that people do. Like there's this one for like they actually transformed the whole world into like Japan. So you fight a samurai, and then there's another one where they actually made the entire world into either Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones and all that stuff. So they have like actual maps that they try to recreate, and it's fantastic.
Right. It probably takes a lot of effort too.
Oh yeah. So and was it? I don't know if you've been seeing like the YouTube videos recently, but like they're actually making a new one. The same company, they're making it a Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is gonna be coming out. I don't know when, but like they've been doing videos for that, and it's fucking fantastic. Like the gameplay aspect, you can do a lot of massive battles and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I may have seen something for it at I'm not sure if it was this past E3. but I did see something about Bannerlord.
Very good. Just a food for thought if you want to do like more modding aside from
Yeah, something to branch out.
yeah,
'Cause
branch out too.
you know what else I actually I did that I just remembered, like probably back 3 years ago.
Was it?
Second ever mod I did. There was a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 mod.
Oh, neat.
And it was just, I think it was just a character that you added that you cycled into your party. But I had, like, I totally forgot about that until just now.
Was
It was
it-
like, what other
speaking of-
games have I voiced mods for? Not really many.
Yeah. I love Knights of the Old Republic. That was my fun game when I used to play on
Oh
the
yeah,
Xbox.
I have not played Code R2, so no spoilers, please.
That was what it was okay.
Just saying that.
Okay.
Forever. I've managed to keep that game spoiler free for like 6 years, so I'm gonna keep it going.
All right, go ahead.
Keep
Don't
it
worry.
going.
Don't worry. I won't say a thing. Don't worry. All right. So let's see. Oh, here's an. I know you probably get asked this question when you go to job interviews, but I guess, where do you see yourself in like 2 to 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 2 to 5 years? I don't know. My best answer is I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully, someplace dry, warm, with lots of shrimp scampi.
Looking
I
at you,
like
LA.
that. And a freezer full of Reese's,
Yes.
and yeah. No, honestly, where can I see myself in 2 to 5 years? I'm not sure. I'm not one who's great with future planning and everything, but I know this: I will be here. I will be doing in some manner or capacity what I love to do, which is voice acting and acting. And I will find a way to do it regardless of my circumstance. Because that's what I've always done, and that's what I know how to do.
Neat. All right, so we're nearing the end here. So, Patrick, you got any advice to anyone that aspires to become a voice actor, actress, or even try their hands into the modding community?
Okay. Quick bit of advice. I don't want to be one of those people that drones on. Just do it. Get out there and do it. It's not just the guys, the famous people, the ladies saying, oh, you just got to get up and go do it. Google something, anything that has to do with something you're interested in. Find an outlet for it. Get yourself started. There are people who want to do it as much as you do. There are schools who can teach you how to do the things you want to do. There's the American Voice Acting Academy in Philadelphia. There's online schools. I know a lot of voice actors offer online sessions. Modders, that goes double for you. If you want to do something, get yourself out there. Just start doing it.
All right. Wise words, wise words. So, Patrick, I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of In the Booth.
Okay, thank you again for having me. I appreciate the interview.
No problem. And this concludes this episode of In the Booth. So, this is JD Carr, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.